talk. Alright, so on number 7, I'm supposed to find the equation of a cosecant wave that does this, or it looks like this. Right off the bat, it looks to me like there's a vertical asymptote at 0. And it looks like there's one in between 4 and 5, so I'm going to assume 4.5, and then that makes sense because this one is 9. So I'm thinking that the period is going to be 9 pi. And I'm trying to write a cosecant wave, so I'm going to go ahead and write out the basics. Y equals something cosecant x close. Okay. So, first off, let me find my midline. That makes it easy. This is up at 4. This is down at 2, so it looks like my midline is at 3. So that's up 3. And my amplitude, well, it only goes up and down 1 from the midline, so I'm thinking there's just a 1 out front. Then I've got period, I said is 9 pi. The formula for period is 2 pi divided by b. Or you can switch them and say that the formula for b is 2 pi divided by the period. So in my case, b equals 2 pi divided by 9 pi, so b is 2/9. So I'm going to put 2/9 out front as my horizontal stretch by a factor of 9/2. And as far as phase shift go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what a regular sine wave is between here and here. And so normally a sine wave would start at the midline and then go up, come down, and then do this, and then go there. Which, thank you. It looks like we're already there. What'd y'all say for 7? Did you say there was a phase shift or not? I don't think there is, right? So it doesn't look like there is one, which means the answer is just going to be y equals cosecant of 2/9 x plus 3. Because it already meets a sine wave that has a period of 9 pi. Okay. Alright, number 8. Midline up 2. Amplitude lines, I'm going to go up and down 2 from my midline. And then I've got, let's see, a period of 2 pi divided by b, which is 8, so I'm thinking the period is pi over 4. I'm supposed to graph from negative 3/16 pi to 5/16 pi, so what I'm going to do right quick is play around with a negative cosine wave. So a negative cosine wave looks like this. And if I let the 4th tick mark be the period, that's 1/4. That means the halfway is 1/8. That means the first is 1/16. So if I'm counting by 16ths, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16 is 5 tick marks. And I have enough space for 5 tick marks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to let that be 5 pi over 16. Let that be 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, and 3/16. So I'm going to be graphing to the left 3 tick marks. 1, 2, 3. So negative 3 pi over 16. Okay, and then I need to figure out my phase shift. So I'm going to take my cosine wave right here, and my negative cosine wave, and I'm going to move it whatever the phase shift is. So phase shift is negative c over b. So negative 3 pi over 2 over 8 over 1. Same thing as multiplying by 1/8. So that means I'm going to move, you couldn't even see that. So negative 3 pi over 2 divided by 8 over 1, same thing as multiplying by 1 over 8. So that means negative 3 pi over 16, or we're going to go to the left 3 pi over 16. Remember, it's plus right here, which means we're going to go left, and then this negative tells me that. So I'm going to go to left 3 tick marks. So I can pick any point and go to left 3 tick marks. I'll go ahead and, since I am starting at negative 3 pi over 16, it's easy to think, well, this one right here is going to move over 3. So I'm going to move that one there. This one right here Well, yeah, I just keep the pattern going. So then I would go here and here and here. So I just picked any point to go to the left 3 pi over 16. Now, if I hadn't been able to, if I wasn't graphing over here, then I would have picked like my third tick mark, the one at 3 pi over 16, and moved that over to 0. And so that is at 0, and it mimics itself over here. Okay? So that's not my answer. Hey guys, this is important. I had a lot of people on your homeworks, or on the quiz, you were graphing this right here with a solid line. That's not your answer. The only thing with a solid line should be the the secant wave. Okay? So make sure that you don't graph the one you're basing your answer off of with a solid line. Alright, so as far as the secant wave goes, I know that anytime the cosine wave hits a midline, the secant wave has a vertical asymptote. So I have vertical asymptotes here, 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 and here. And it looks something like this. And then we've got half of one down here, and then half of one down there. And there is my answer. Okay, so that is number 8. Number 9. Number 9 is a negative cosine wave. And, okay, down 3, so I'm going to go down 3. It's got amplitude of 1, so up and down 1. The period is going to be 2 pi divided by b, which is 1/3, or 2 pi times 3, which is 6 pi. It says that they only want me to graph from negative halves, 9 halves to 3 pi, so I'm going to go ahead and play around with that. I've got a negative cosine wave, again. And normally the period should be 6 pi, which means this is 3 pi, which means that's 3 halves. So if I'm counting by 3 halves, then 3 halves is right here, plus 3 halves is 6 halves, plus 3 halves is 9 halves, plus 3 halves is 12 halves. So I can see that 3 pi is 2 tick marks, and negative 9 halves pi is going to be 3 tick marks to the left. So I have room for that. So I'm going to let this be 3 pi, which is only going to be half the period, and then I'm going to go to the left, only 9 halves pi. Is that what you were wondering about? As far as where to put them? Yeah. So, okay, I've got that labeled, and then I got to figure out my phase shift. So phase shift is negative c over b. It's already negative, so how about plus? So phase shift, I've got positive pi over 4 divided by 1/3. So I multiply by 3 over 1, and I get 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4, that's not on my list of tick marks already, so I'm going to think about this. If this is 3 pi, and this is 3 halves pi, then cut that in half, and I've got 3/4. So 3/4 is only half a tick mark. So we're going to move to the right 3 pi over 4, which is only 1/2 of a tick mark. So I'm going to take my cosine wave, my negative cosine wave, and normally the minimum would be right here, right? I'll go ahead and sketch that so we can see. So here's my negative cosine wave, but I'm only going to see that much of it, yeah, from 0 to 3 pi, and then I'm going to move to the right half a tick mark. So that means this right here would be right here, and then right here, and then right here. And so as far as like your final answer, you're going to have some loose ends. They're not going to go to a specific point. So in this case, remember that I would be going to a maximum right there, so it's going to look something like that. And that I would be going to a minimum right there, which means it would look something like that. Okay? So that one is a little interesting. I'm not even seeing, well, I guess I do see a full wave, just a little bit more than that, but I take my negative cosine wave, I'm only going to be able to see this part of it, and then I shift it to the right half a tick mark. Alright, number 10. Number 10 is a tangent wave, and I'm asking you to graph from negative 12 pi to 6 pi, so first we're going to have to figure out what's going on. The formula for the period of a tangent wave is pi over b, so period is pi divided by 1/4, or 4 pi. So normally when I think about a tangent wave, I think it does this. I split the period in half, so this would be 2 pi, and this would be negative 2 pi. I'm supposed to graph to 6 pi, which means I'm probably going to have to let each tick mark be 2 pi. So there's 6 pi, and so then negative 12 pi, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8 pi, negative 10 pi, and negative 12 pi. So graph all the way across. Okay, cool. Then I've got my midline. I'm going to go ahead and kind of mark that off for myself. And I'll deal with the 2 later whenever I'm ready to start placing the function. Okay, so far, I know I've got a tangent wave with a period of 4 pi, which means I split the period in half and 2 pi on each side. I've got to figure out my phase shift. So phase shift is negative c over b. It's already negative, so positive pi over 2 over 1/4. Flip and multiply, that's 4 over 1. So go 2 pi to the right, to the right 2 pi. So if I look at my image right here, at negative 2 pi, we have a vertical asymptote, and at 2 pi we have a vertical asymptote. If I move this to the right 2 pi, then that means I'm going to have a vertical asymptote at 0. And this one that's at 2 pi is now going to be at 4 pi, because I'm supposed to move it to the right 2 pi. So vertical asymptote. Okay, so that tells me that every other tick mark is going to be a vertical asymptote. So I'm just going to continue that pattern. Okay. A tangent wave, it's not a negative tangent wave, so it's a normal one, so it crosses halfway between them. So each of those half marks, I'm going to put a dot right there. And then what we have to account for is the vertical stretch by a factor of 2. So what that means is I go halfway between the center point and the vertical asymptote, and then go up 2. So halfway between and then go up 2. Halfway between and go down 2. Halfway between and go up 2. Halfway between and go down 2. Up 2, down 2, up 2, down 2. Now this one right here is this piece right here is copy and paste, right? So this should be down here. And so here is my wave. Don't try to unnaturally force it to get really close to the vertical asymptote, because I don't have to. Okay? I don't know if that made you uncomfortable to have to do it between 2 tick marks, but that's a little bit better representation of what it actually looks like.